Hey guys, welcome back to Ugh, You're So Good. Today is part 2 of our conversation with E.G. Daily, so we hope you guys love it. Here we go.
So good. How did you do it? How did you do it? You're so good.
I have another question.
Yeah.
When you create these characters, do you feel like attached to them and do you miss them when you stop doing them? Are they a
I
part
can't.
of you?
I don't miss them because they're always in me.
Right.
So they
Like they're
never
with you
leave
wherever
me.
you go.
They don't go anywhere.
Right.
Do you ever
The
forget?
show might go somewhere, but they don't go anywhere.
Right.
They're living in me.
They're forever, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever forget how to do a voice, or you just remember them all?
Well, you know how your voice sounds,
Yeah,
and you know how her voice sounds,
right.
Yeah.
and you know how your voice sounds, and your voice, and my voice. How am I going to confuse you guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to confuse you with me.
Right.
Tommy Pickles talks like this, and he says like, I don't really like clowns, Chucky. And then Buttercup talks like this, and she doesn't like when her sisters annoy her. So it's like, how the hell am I going to
God.
confuse those people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes Mark is shook right now. Actually, this morning we were like doing research and stuff, and Mark was like, "You know what? I'm the most gagged by." Babe Pig in the City.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Cult
Oh my
classic.
God.
now.
It really
So
is.
good.
And with Mickey Rooney in it, and the photography is so good. That was directed by George Miller, who has actually hired me a whole bunch of times. He's an amazing, he does all the Mad Max movies.
Oh, cool.
man.
And he's one of the few directors that has done that much active animation as well as big live action feature films. Like, he's an amazing director. He's Australian. And he hired me the first time for, I think it was a movie called Lorenzo's Oil that was with Susan Sarandon and Nick Nolte. And it was like an Academy Award winning film about a little boy who had this brain disease where it's kind of like it's not like MS, but it had something to do with the myelin in the brain deteriorating. So then the kid starts deteriorating. And it's based on a true story, that movie. And so the little boy couldn't possibly act the speech impediments that started to happen with the brain deterioration. So they call me in.
Wow.
And then I match the kid's voice. Like, if he talk like that, if he's like, Mommy, I don't like it, like a little boy.
God, that was crazy.
Then I don't even remember what that kid's. And then all of a sudden it's like, I want my boy. He's starting to lose his ability to talk, so they bring me in. So that was the first time I worked with that director. And then he called me in for Babe, and then he called me in for Happy Feet 1, and then Happy Feet 2.
Oh my
So
God.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
I'm the
actually like-
secret sauce.
Yeah, you
You are the
But it's
secret
actually like
sauce.
breathtaking what you can do with
It's
your voice.
breathtaking.
It's like I've never seen
No, you're a
anything
pentatonic,
like it.
dude. I want to join your band.
Oh my gosh,
Can I be
you're
a guest
you're
in your
fully
band?
welcome to
Member.
join our band. I feel like you could like learn all our voices and like take one of our
Yes. Oh,
places.
yeah. Can you mimic singers? Like,
Or
can
you
you
could
do?
impers-
Can
I
you
mean-
impersonate?
I mean, in a way, yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm a singer. So yeah, guess, yeah.
Yeah.
To a point,
Yeah.
yeah.
So interesting.
I have a question.
Voices are like, certain voices. Like, I didn't know. My agents were like, we need you to go to Pixar and audition for the sound alike for Holly Hunter for The Incredibles. And I was like, I don't think I do Holly Hunter. Like, sometimes I just don't
Right.
have a. I
Did
don't
you like
feel
try it to yourself
Well, so
before
then
you decided that?
I just like listen to her, and then I'm like, well, Holly Hunter sort of talks like this, and she says something like that. Like,
That's good.
Dash, we can't do this.
Oh, I would cast you.
So then all of a
You're
sudden,
hired.
I did Mrs. Incredibles, commercials when she wasn't available and a lot of the looping and stuff. So sometimes I'll just, sometimes, well, I did like the 2.5 Men theme song,
Men. Oh, that was-
manly men, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Wow.
So that was,
Did you
did
write
the
that
kids'
too?
voice?
that was me.
Oh, I
In the
am blown
theme
away
song.
because I remember thinking as a kid, is he singing that? Because I feel like he can't sing that well.
Well, that's just it. He couldn't sing, so then they went
so
through
you
this.
did it.
That was me.
My parents are going to be shook.
Mine was too, because my sister, my mom, 2.5 Men was their favorite show, and they were like, wait, we can't talk right now. We're watching 2.5 Men. I'm like, 2.5 Men? I do the theme song for that. Like, what? They didn't
I
know.
knew he didn't
It's a
sing
good
it.
theme
I was
song.
like,
No.
this is too good. For
But here's
not
how
do
that
this.
happened. So I get a random call from Chuck Lorre, who's a great producer, and Chuck Lorre was like, we're looking for the boy to match Jake on the show that could sing the theme song, so it looks like it could conceivably be him. And we're auditioning like kids on Broadway and Les Mis, like real boy singers. But we need someone who sounds like it could be Jake. So I was like, all right. And he goes, well, I can't just give it to you, because he already knew I was like, top pro, whatever. He's like, I can't just hire you. We're auditioning him. And I was like, don't worry about it. Just send me a reference of the boy. And so Jake at the time was little, so he was another one of those kids you sort of talk like this and you sort of slow and, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, that's how he talks. And then I was like, manly men, you know.
Oh God.
I'm like shook by
This
that
is
right
the
now.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah, because you like know where the sounds go. Like
You know how to
like,
place
You
it.
know how to
Yeah.
place it.
Well, you know
I
how,
always
right?
thought that like the way someone's skull shaped is how they resonated, but you have
It's a
proven that's
choice.
not true.
yeah.
That's not
crazy.
true.
It
You
is.
can put a voice in
You
it.
can
You
put a
can put it
voice
up here
anywhere.
in your. You can put it in your nose. You can put it at the front of your teeth. You could put it back here at the back of your throat. I mean, it's like you can just
You can
rock
do
it
anything.
anywhere.
That is so.
It makes me want to like take more voice
Yeah.
lessons and like learn all
Do you
that.
have to take care of your voice the same way a singer has to take care of their voice? Like, do you protective?
Well, I don't really. The only thing is, I think the only thing really is, and you probably know this. You guys know this. Like, if I'm really super tired, like
Yeah.
my adrenals are low, and I haven't been getting enough sleep. That's. I mean, then I just try to rest or sleep. But really, my voice is pretty durable now
Yeah.
after singing and using it for so many things for
Yeah.
so many years. You know, it's pretty durable. And I think sometimes even when it's a little raspy or huskier,
Right.
you know how that is. Your voice actually tone is even
can become-
fatter.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's even bigger. So I kind of don't mind when it's a little
Right.
huskier. It means my singing voice is fatter. And it means maybe my high voices might be a little bit wispier, but
Yeah.
you know, for the most part, it does. I don't really have any. I'll warm up, like I'll do some warm ups and warm up. But I actually did a really weird vocal thing when I think I was doing the movie Streets of Fire with Diane Lane, and I remember they had sent Diane Lane to work with a guy named Warren Barigian, who was this really out there vocal coach. And I couldn't afford him. I mean, the studio hired him. It was like $20,000 for back then, which is now would probably be $75,000.
Right.
And this was during the Streets of Fire movie, and they had hired him to work with her because she had to sing in the movie. And I was like, why don't they just hire me who can sing? I can sing, you know. I was
Yeah.
like, but you know, it's Diane Lane. She's
Right,
amazing.
right.
So, you know, she was working with her. Diane was a friend of mine it was my second movie with her. And she was real young, and she told me all about Warren, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So what I did was I took every dollar in my savings account, and I asked him if he would work with me, and for 10 grand,
Risk.
because all I had was 10 grand. And he was like, of course, I'll work with you. And I was like, I gave him the 10 grand. I mean, that was a lot of money
That's
for
a
me.
ton of money, yeah.
And back
of money
then,
now.
that would have been like
That's
70.
like $50,000.
Yeah,
now.
It's crazy, yeah.
and so I started working with him, and he had this really like intense vocal technique where he would just have you like do these retching, like screamy, retchy things that were right in your throat.
Sounds painful.
It sounded painful, but actually it changed my voice in such a radical way that I
Wow.
never was afraid to sing again. Because when you're a newer youth singer, you're always like, I'm always hoarse, I'm afraid I'm going to sing, I'm
Right.
going to be hoarse, I'm going to hoarse before my show. But what happened was it took all that away. Because he had this theory like a baby, and when a baby cries, like, you know, it's like that
God,
screamy.
yeah.
It was like that retching place, but then, you know, it just sort of like they push in a place where it doesn't hurt.
Totally.
And so it was a really
Yeah.
incredible thing. I used to use a car buffer on my legs and
Oh my God.
vibrate my legs, and then my legs would like go on like itch and
It's
it
a
was
thing you can learn like with like screamo bands.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
there's
it's-
no way.
But they are doing something in the right
placing
place.
it.
They're
well,
putting
that's
it
what
in
I
the
do.
right place.
I was in a metal band. So
You
if could-
what?
You were? Of
Your
course you were.
story.
I was in a metal band. It was
Called-
called
what was the
Slave.
name?
Slave.
Slave.
It was metal. My hair was platinum. My face was white as a ghost because my
my
brother thought I was bleaching my skin. He was like,
Wait, when was this?
This was back in probably in the 80s too. I was like the headliner at the Coconut Teaser once a month for a year with like
your
lines
life.
around.
Were
Yeah.
you like?
It was a
were you-
metal
You
band,
don't
like
have to,
serious
but will
metal.
you do like one of the screamo moments that you did in the band? Do you remember any
Like-
of it?
Screamo moments?
Or like
Or
whatever the
any-
songs
whatever.
were like.
You know, like that kind of stuff. Like, you know, and the weird thing is, did I just pin the needle? I pinned
We
it?
definitely clipped.
The thing about that was, the more I did that, the more warmed up my voice got.
Wow.
Because it
Interesting.
just
Mine
was,
would just go downhill.
Yeah, mine would
Probably
go
because I don't know how to
down-
place
but-
it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You do have amazing placement though, like obviously, but like I can hear it so clearly in the room. Like you so are in the right place. Like it just
Yeah.
feels safe. Like
Your
I
voice
trust.
sounds healthy.
Yeah, it sounds so healthy.
Hydrated.
All right, you guys, it's time for my sweet angel of a boyfriend / our mixologist on the show, Mark Manio, to make a drink.
Time for a drink. Meet my Scott's boyfriend. Time to get wasted.
just because we have themes on this podcast, I feel like we have to tell everyone
yes.
that we're
Interesting.
drinking mimosas. You don't have to have one at all.
That's
'cause
so cute.
we're
She's like,
good.
it's the morning. I'm
It's the
drinking
morning.
coffee.
I'm a strict follower of rules, and we have a
Yes,
rule on
cheers.
this podcast. We have a drink, so we're having some
love
mimosas,
that. Here,
and we're gonna
cheers.
cheers with your Starbucks. Yes. Cheers.
All right.
Should we say what drink she is? Because we did it on the path.
Yeah, we're supposed to like guess a drink that we think
Oh,
you are.
it would be. It would be one that has like a lot of different liqueurs.
Yeah,
in it.
like a big combo. Oh my god.
I don't want to say Long Island iced tea because you're not like Long
Wait.
Island, but like
Yeah, this
but
is not-
There's
because,
a lot of liquor in it.
yeah.
This is not what
It has
you
many different flavors.
This is not what you are because this is disgusting, but it just reminded me of when I was in high school and my friend and I wanted to drink, and I was like, my parents have alcohol in this cabinet above the like whatever, like at the top part of this cabinet.
It's always like schnapps.
And we'd be like, let's just pour a tiny bit of each bottle into a cup, and they'll never know. And
That's smart.
Okay.
You just vomit your brains out the next day.
that's not what you are. That's too disgusting. If that tasted good, that would be you.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
Oh man. Okay.
That's great.
Oh wow, I am blown away by your whole life. I have a question.
But
Clearly you have so many skills. Is there one thing that you think you're the best at? Like what is
That you're
your,
not recognized for.
like what is your most like natural
Yeah,
talent?
because I feel like I'm known for being a singer, but
that
I'm
might
like,
not
but I
be-
feel like my biggest talent lies elsewhere.
Right.
But what do you think?
what?
I was just
What am-
saying like everything you do, it's like
I know.
Of my abilities, what I'm good at. I mean, honestly, I think it's loving people.
that is powerful.
Yes, and that makes so much sense because in order to become all these different people, you have to have empathy.
Yeah.
You have to understand them enough to relate and become them.
And
Yeah.
George Miller hired you again and again because he loved you and because you're talented,
Well,
obviously. But
and
if you were hard to work with, there would be no way
Right.
he would hire you again.
I just mean like I think what it is like as a mother, I think I just really get how to love my children,
Ah,
and
chills.
I think like I do a lot of fostering animals, and I know how to love an animal that's been abused in the way that makes them come out again when they've closed up. So I just think there's
Yeah.
I just think there's something really like I have so much compassion for people that are struggling or animals that are struggling or hurting and trying to find a way to help. So that's like a big passion thing of mine. So I know that has nothing to do with like my actual talent, but
I think
But
it
that
does.
is a talent. That's exactly
No,
that is
but
a
I
talent.
just said this literally, but I'm going to say it again.
what?
I really feel like that is connected to what you do because what blows our minds is your ability to become these other people, like
Yeah.
so
Your
completely.
awareness.
And that just takes like real
Drugs.
It takes drugs. No, but you're an empath. You're like
you
the
are.
definition
I'm an
of an
empath.
empath.
You are an empath.
I think I'm an empath. That's
Like you're
true.
connected.
And that led you to your talents. So that is what's so
that's
cool.
That's really nice. Yeah, I'm definitely an empath. I mean, but I've also learned in being an empath how not to take on people's stuff. Because a lot of
yeah,
people
it's
want to lay it
dangerous.
on you.
Yeah.
But I've learned how to kind of try to be there and learn when to step out and then learn when to go back in. Like some people will just suck
skill
your
that you
brains
need to
out of you if they could. And so
I can
it's a
get
real
into this.
Yeah, it's a good track. It's a good thing to learn, and that's also you learn that from places like Al-Anon,
Right.
where you learn like if you're in love with an alcoholic or a drug addict, how not to let them make you the problem, and so you
100%.
can be like, "I love you, honey, but I'm gonna just lovingly detach from that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about
have to.
detachment and in the right way, but also
That is such a good
And
lesson.
it really is all about the ultimate game. It's all about being a messenger. Like all of this is about being a messenger. But like when you sing, you're tapping into people's hearts. You're opening them up. You're telling their hearts, open up and let yourself feel that. Or you're telling them it's okay to cry. You're telling them enjoy this. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You can feel good for a moment. It's really about reaching people and grabbing them and massaging their something and waking them up. And that's what all of it's about. Like
yeah.
doing a voice, doing a cartoon that goes through their whole childhood, that reminds them of feelings that, like Rugrats is people's, a lot of
Soundtrack to
people
my
say,
childhood.
It
Yeah.
is. A lot of
Same.
people say that, like it was their childhood. Oh my God, you're like the voice of my childhood.
Yeah.
And to me,
That's powerful.
it is powerful that you could actually leave that big of an imprint on people's lives, where when you do a voice, they just get so rocked out when they just hear you do like,
Yeah, we were all
You know.
like,
Yeah.
you hear them do a voice. So to me, it's all about being of service ultimately.
yeah. Oh,
totally
that's so
agree with that.
beautiful. literally the fact that like Pentatonics does Christmas music that's listened widely. Like I always get emotional about that. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
How
like,
did you
I
get
can't
in that
believe-
band? I want to know that.
Oh, but it's about
created
me now.
it.
I started it, and I have so many similar stories to you because I literally had no money. I was calling my mom asking for money so I could fly Kevin, our beatboxer, out. She was like, "Babe, like we're already helping you with college." Like,
Yeah.
I literally emptied my bank account. I borrowed money from my friend Ben to fly him out. Like all of that happened, and I put the
didn't
group
know that.
together, and and it just worked.
Wow.
It was cool. So it's the same type of thing. Like those risks are like in going outside.
I mean,
your
who
comfort
would have
zone.
thought to do that?
Band
That's
it was
like,
just-
Well, what I love about that, but I mean, I love Pentatonics in general, but it's like that was following your own tastes and your own thing.
Yeah.
Like, you were doing you.
random.
Yeah.
You-
Like, who would have thought that's
Yeah.
going to break
Acapella
open?
group.
But it was
and
Yeah.
it's what
you're gonna
you
play
loved
the
to do and what
Forum.
you wanted to hear. You
Yeah,
know what
I
mean?
loved it. It brought me.
Are you-
it
are you-
thrilled me.
Are you
So-
headlining the Forum, or do you?
Yeah, we're headlining
I mean,
the Forum
that's
and
like,
headlining Madison Square Garden.
like what? Like
I
who
know.
would have thought?
I know. It's
that,
so amazing.
That thought, was gonna, it's an incredible.
Yeah,
thing.
it's hard to process sometimes. I have to
Yeah.
like sit down. I'll like have like a little like
Do you come
tipsy
up with the
conversation with
songs?
Mark, and I'll like get tears in my eyes. And
You
I
come up with what songs to do next, or all that?
yeah. We all like kind of collaborate.
We have 3 questions that we ask at the end of every episode to every guest. And the first one is, what is success to you? What does success mean?
Success means that at the end of the day, you actually can feel it. Meaning, it's sometimes you're so caught in it that it's hard to feel it. And it means that you're not letting it wash over you like a tidal wave and to where you're in a dizzed out state when it's happening, but you actually can land on a nice warm beach and really appreciate it and see it.
Yes.
That's what success means to me.
Wow,
That was beautiful.
you're literally Oprah.
God, I
Tommy
love that so
Pickles
much.
meets Oprah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay,
Second
question 2. What is the
The second question is...
Oh, what would you tell yourself?
Wait a second. Get back on track here. You're letting the tidal wave come over you.
What would you tell yourself
Yeah.
at your lowest?
At my lowest, well, don't quit before the miracle. Like when you're really low is when I really believe and I've been there. I've been like really low. I've been to where like I wouldn't kill myself because I had children, but where I knew why people kill themselves. And that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary enough. I knew what it felt like to have such bad anxiety in your body that you just don't think you can function in your skin anymore. I know that feeling. So I think that what the beautiful thing is that you have to remember is that, when a building crumbles down to the ground, like you think you're dead, it's dead, like ground zero, like a butterfly, the cocoon story, a caterpillar turns into this little weird little puffy cocoon dead thing. It basically looks dead, right? When you're in that state is actually the state when things can really change in your life for the better. Like when you crumble to the ground is when you can build a foundation that can make your life like you've never imagined. With such a strong foundation. And there's nothing like when you've gone through really hard times where you can actually feel like, I've been through that. I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
And somebody really feels the safety of your words because nobody knows unless they're in it. But when you can look at someone and say, I understand what you're feeling. I've been there.
And they can feel when it's true.
That's right.
powerful.
You can feel it.
Subconsciously, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the reminder is like, this is a good thing. When people are going, like I just talked to a man the other day that was devastated. He hadn't been feeling well. His body was kind of messed up and he hadn't worked and was broke, has a baby. They didn't know if their electricity was going to be turned off the next day. And I said, this is a great place because it's from that place where you can transform your life and make it with a foundation that will change the rest of your life and will make your life way better. So I'd just say
Powerful.
don't quit before the miracle.
Don't quit for the miracle.
I want to tweet
frame
that.
that on my wall.
I want that one. Yeah, that's so good.
That is so beautiful. Okay.
Okay, third question.
The very last question is our favorite question, which is...
Smelly cat song.
I almost feel weird about asking this because you're so like emotionally
I know,
mature
I
and
know.
like I feel like you're gonna hate this question.
I can be a dork too, so
If
hit
you
me.
hate... You don't have to say it. You can say you don't do this, so that's fine.
Okay.
But our last question is, we love gossip. Is there any gossip you can tell us?
like in the voice actress world, in your world in general.
Is there anything
Gossip.
Fun.
Just because it's fun.
Yeah.
But I know that you're
we're like shamed because we're so impressed by
I'm
you.
like, should we get
we're
rid
like,
of this?
Never mind.
Shame on you. Gossip. Let me think here.
I also have a backup plan.
Ooh, I also have another question.
Okay, I went to high school with Nick Cage, right?
Oh my God, really?
And he was kind of nerdy in high school.
Oh, that's great
I don't know if that's
gossip.
gossip.
No,
that's
that's
not
great
gossip.
gossip.
He's kind of nerdy. He turned into like this really cool guy. But in high school, he was kind of this
He was
nerdy guy.
nerdy.
Nobody
You heard
wanted
it
to be his
here
friend.
first.
Interesting. Nicolas Cage.
Wait, I had another question. I know we're out of order.
But he's actually a really talented and amazing guy. But
Yeah.
back in high school, he was so quirky. He was this amazing genius guy.
Yeah.
But in high school, they just thought he was this weird
Well, all the
nerdy
good
guy.
ones are.
All the
Yeah.
good ones.
All the good ones are.
Yeah.
Wait, this is just like, again, you can just ignore that I said this, but I may have read on the internet that you maybe at one point dated Brad Pitt.
Did you go to like Who Is She Dated?
No,
If you go
I
there-
swear I did
If
not.
you go there, it's going to show me what. Go pull it up. It's hilarious. Just do it for
Mark
fun.
got it? Yeah.
Who has you?
Did y'all make out? Was he a good kisser?
That's hilarious. He and I were really close, actually. He's a really good friend of mine. And I did spend a lot of time with him. And that's awesome.
And that's all
Now,
she
George
would
Clooney,
say.
but you didn't read that I hung out with George Clooney. No, he's a doll. Because I went to acting class with
my
George Clooney. And he was such a sexy dude. Like,
Yeah.
that guy is very sexy. And he and I had crossed paths over the years because we were in acting class together. Then I ran into him on the lot when he was doing ER. And then we were like, how's it going? George, how are you? And the next thing you know, we would be hanging out. But it was like rendezvousing.
Got it.
It was rendezvousing with Nick Cage. It was
Rendezvousing.
rendezvousing.
George Clooney,
Yeah.
Marcus shook right now. He's like flushed.
Nicolas Cage, Kato Kalin.
You know.
Oh, you just had the hot. That's
No, but see, this is my thing. Like, okay, I ran into a director once, and I love the story. I was in a cafe, and he was like, he looked like some weird dude, like actor dude, and he was like, oh my God, you're E.G. Daily, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, me and my friends had this theory about you that you were the good luck charm for all these first-time directors. Because I was in Valley Girl, Martha Coolidge's career broke open.
Wow.
What a reputation.
You know, Tim Burton, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Tim Burton became huge, and they were all like, "You were like this character. You were one person actor in all these first time." And I was like, "That's a really cool trivia thing to hear about myself." But
That's
I
a
thought,
real thing. There's so much validity.
Yeah.
in
but
it.
I thought it was with men because all the men I dated when they were broke ass bitches.
Oh my
That's when-
God.
Because you have good energy and you inspire them to be better. Yeah.
Well, what happened was, a lot of these
feel
guys
better.
I knew when they were young, like before they were, George Clooney's and the Brad Pitts. Brad lived in a tiny little half of a house sort of thing right near where I lived, and it was just a mess. And he was just this cool sweetheart of a guy that you knew he was going to do stuff. But it's like, there were people that I just, connected to, and then later they became
Y'all
hugely
just had
famous.
similar energies.
Yeah.
It might be
I
just
don't know, it
because
is.
like you're attracted to that type of energy. That
Right.
becomes
I'm
successful.
attracted to magic, and people that I'm
Yes.
attracted to become magic because
God.
I see
Dropping the best one-liners. I'm gonna tweet like half the things you say.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like which is why I think I'm so, to be brutally honest, like I have so much respect for people that are trans. Trans to me is like,
I have
this
really intense love for trans community.
I have an intense, first of all,
it's bravery and like the purest.
that's what it is. It's like, and I have a lot of trans friends, and to me, that is the epitome of having faith in yourself. When everyone, including your body and people around you, are going to say, "Don't do that.
Right.
That's crazy," but you
know.
honor yourself so much that you actually say, "I have to do this for
Yeah.
myself."
That's
in
it.
this
That's
lifetime."
exactly why. I just think it's incredible.
Yeah, I have a huge respect for anyone who is truly willing to risk being 100% who they are.
Yeah.
Gay, straight, lesbian, whatever, trans, whatever it is, it's like, be what you need to be because this is your life and this is your time while you're on the planet. So make it matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Wow.
can't fight who you are. You are who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been.
I want this to be
so
our
much fun.
first episode.
I know it's so
So
good. I think we're good.
Can I tell everybody to follow me?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. Say everything.
What
can
are
I?
your socials?
Okay, so I'm at Real EG Daily on Instagram
Real.
and Twitter because there's some fake ones. So make
Yeah.
sure you're on mine.
Yes.
Because the other ones are not me.
Right.
Even though they sometimes answer as me and I have to stop
Spooky.
them. It's really weird.
That's
people
so
will
annoying.
answer
That
as
happens
me.
to me
Well, we'll tag the right one.
Then I text
Awesome.
them and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm EJ Dale. No, dude, I'm EJ Dale. The cops are on your ass. We're taping this phone call.
It's cool that you live a reality where people just literally want to pretend they're you.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. I actually like it now. So my Instagram, my Twitter is at real EJ Daily.
Got it.
I'm on Facebook. Make sure it's the official or EJ Daily. There's a fan one and there's a regular one. The regular one's full, but the fan one is open to whoever. And I usually try to message people back. So if you private message me on Instagram, I've gotten date proposals. And once in a while I've been like, wow.
Did you go out with someone you met on Instagram?
I did. Some guy who hit me up on Instagram.
This
is the tea we want.
Yeah.
That's the gossip.
But it was so great because that was really bold and daring of them to even ask.
This is like so out of order, but I had a question that I was excited to ask and I forgot to ask. But like, have you ever almost booked a character like Final Two and like didn't get it? And what character? Like almost got Bart Simpson. But
Right.
Or you've booked everything you've ever
Well, there's probably been a million, but I don't pay attention.
Oh, right, because
don't know. I don't know. Like I read for a lot of things.
Gonna be big
and sometimes I see a show, I'm like, oh, I read for that, but I don't stop and think like it was down to me and her at the last. I mean, maybe with some on camera back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't really waste
That's
too
not
much.
how your mind works.
Yeah,
I don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
I pay attention to what's happening and where I'm getting.
I love that. I love that.
I want to be you.
In the moment.
Do you want to be my niece too?
Yes, please.
I actually am genuinely very
We're talking about my
excited to
niece,
listen
Asia
back.
Grammer. She's
Yes.
amazing. Super
Yes, shout out to Asia.
Asia for setting up
Married
this
to Andy
dream
Grammer, who's
podcast.
and Andy is amazing too.
Not just
my
podcast.
niece.
This has been like a dream conversation, on or off mic. This has been like
So glad.
so amazing for me.
Well, I'm coming over next time again because you're my neighbor.
No, yes, and I'm coming to your house
you're
because you
gonna
have
love
a
my-
piano in
in
your
my
kitchen.
kitchen.
Yeah, we're gonna all come and sing.
So cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you so much. This
We're
is really
such
special.
We're such fans, and we
Thanks,
so
guys.
appreciate you being here.
I'm glad we can make it happen.
Yay! Thanks, guys. We'll be
Bye.
back soon.
We'll be back.